and a really warm welcome back to my channel, PumpkinBecki. Autumn is in full swing here in the UK, and I thought it'd be the perfect time to give you your first tour of the garden. The main planting is done into brick raised beds, and the reason for that is when we first arrived the ground was in such poor condition. There had been tarmac down and half the garden looked like a builder's yard. So we had to scrape off 70 centimetres of soil across the site. That took us down to the subsoil, which is a delightful mixture of clay, flint and chalk. This fence here, which is covered in ivy, actually screens us from the main road. So that's why you can hear road noise quite a lot in my recordings. We start here with autumn fruiting raspberries, and yeah, have a little cluster there. Aren't they gorgeous? Actually, that I'm going to be naughty. You're not ready. I'm going to eat you. And as we come further in, we have summer fruiting raspberries. There's quite a few along this bed. Some black and red currants. I have blueberries, which I keep in pots as I clearly haven't got ericaceous soil. If you've been following the blog, you will have seen my post about my rhubarb, which I moved recently from the allotment that we used to have. They were really sad looking stumps. Look at them now. The flowering plants are starting to look really shabby now, but with luck I'll get these snapdragons, particularly through the winter. I popped some bearded iris in the back there. More wallflowers, more aquilejus. Very cottagey planting. I love cottage garden plants. Pinks. Get that dead head off. In here I've got a thornless blackberry, which I'm not going to see any fruit from this year. My brother-in-law gave us this fig tree. It was in a pot, very neglected. When he moved into his house, it was there already. The owner obviously hadn't wanted to try and move it. Fig plants can get really big. I decided to espalier it to try and just calm the growth a little bit. Next to the fig we have a lovely dwarf bamboo in a pot. Another brick raised bed which we built around this rather magnificently crazy hawthorn. It's huge. We love it. So this border faces southwest-ish and actually gets baked. You would think, being right under the hawthorn tree, that it would just be shady, but what it is sun and then dry, because the hawthorn is taking up all the moisture from above and anything from the soil as well. So I've actually got things like oregano, marjoram, osteospermum. I've moved a lavender into this bed, just there behind this fern. Then here next to the really sweet little summer house that we've got, it's 4 foot by 6 foot. It's adorable. I've got a French lavender in a pot just here. And then this is more of a herbaceous raised bed. There's more lavender. That's a pink one. This bed also does really well with dahlias, so I've got a sweet little white pompon dahlia just there. This is Purple Gem, which has been flowering its socks off. This is Salvia Armstead, which I planted this year. I don't do very well with salvias. I don't tend to be able to keep them over winter, so I'm going to keep my fingers crossed with this one. I will mulch it before the frosts and see if that helps. Next to the pink lavender is this really pretty pink hardy geranium. This is actually Nodo Sun, which we bought for our old house, where it was really dark shade under a sycamore tree. And when it sprayed, I sort of took lumps off it and realised that when it wasn't growing in deep shade, it was actually a really big plant. So I let it do its thing here, and it gets pretty big. If you read Terry Pratchett's stories about Discworld, you will have heard of Constable Downspout, who is a gargoyle and is part of the City Watch. I named this concrete gargoyle after him. Next to Constable Downspout is another Sempervivum planter, which I actually stole an awful lot of chicks from the other day. Lots of heuchera going on. Lots of hellebores as well. I love hellebores. Ferns here, more heuchera. All under this rather stunning Fatsia japonica, or the false castor oil plant. Okay, and then round behind this bed we come past the summer house, and in front of us, look, there's Georgies Garden. I'm so pleased with how this little fairy garden has come along. All the plants look really settled in and happy, as does George. Everything's so sweet. This is southwest facing, so it gets a lot of sun. So I've got some more osteospermum in here. There is an amazing lobelia in here, which I've never seen anything like it. You won't get the sense of how big it was, and it was... No, it was taller than that. It was probably that sort of height. In the corner here is our little tiny pond, which is about 60 centimetres square, but we have a frog in it. We have our solitary bee nester box up here. I'm getting ever so slightly bombed by the honeybees. We've got their entrance really restricted at the moment because the wasps are about. You can see the bees are still bringing back lots of pollen. So we're now coming around the back of the herbaceous bed here, which has the Purple Gem Dahlia in it. I've also bought a pink echinacea this year, which has been flowering really well, and the bees have loved it, and there's a hoverfly lurking around as well. He's enjoying it. Some sort of fanfare please for Jeff Hamilton. Look at that flower. Oh, it is packed, and the scent coming from it is just amazing. I'm so happy. In between the Jeff Hamilton bed and the greenhouse, there's a really nice calm bit, and I use it as a sort of a nursery. So anything I've potted on or I'm trying to harden off comes here. my carnivorous plant collection, which is all a bit desperate for a drink of water, I think. And if you hop on over to the blog, you will see photographs of that and full descriptions. At the back there on the shelf is my onions drying, my little wind-up radio, solar powered and wind-up. Oh, you can't see that. Can't see that. You can see that. More sempervivum. More onions drying. Then we come out. And we've got my chili plants, which are doing really well. I have olives in pots, and behind is an amazing clematis called Princess Diana, and I love it. It's one of these beautiful sort of tulip flowered clematises with really rich cerise pink. It's lovely, highly recommend it, and it flowers for so long. I've never known a clematis flower for so long. And another raised bed here with lavender surrounding my little apple tree called Scrumptious. Felicity is molting absolutely everywhere. She's a complete disaster. Yeah. Yeah, hi Jane. Claudie and Bunty are definitely getting more brave. Oh dear. Oh dear. There we go. And as we turn away from the chickens, we have the square foot beds, which it's all looking a bit disastrous down here at the moment because we've got lots of stuff kicking around from where we introduced the new hens in. So it's not its picturesque best, but there's certainly lots of parsnips, there's cabbages, leeks, there's some kale plant there, more parsnips, those are Brussels sprouts, more leeks, there's a couple of empty squares, not quite the way you're meant to do square foot gardening, there we go, more parsnips, and we did have some asparagus for the first time this year. As I say, these beds need some attention now. This Nemesia was in the bargain basement death row bit of B&Q. I pinched it back really hard and gave it a feed, and it is rewarding me in spades. In with it is this amazing colour Dahlia. I'm hoping I can just move the whole pot into the greenhouse for the winter. Once the frost arrives, it will knock all these leaves and flowers down to nothing. But for now, it is by my back door looking absolutely stunning. So there we are, a quick whistle-stop tour of the garden before it goes to sleep for winter. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to me here on YouTube. And check out my other social media stuff in the description bar below. Until next time, bye!